friends. I'm here with Vince Ashton, the official host of the City of College Park, the official singer of the Atlanta Skyhawks, Atlanta United, the rugby team. He's worked with TEDx. This man is so impressive. The list is like longer than both my arms and my legs. So I'm super excited to be talking with him today. Vince, how are you?
Good afternoon. I am great. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. All is well. How are you doing, Alyssa?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to hang out with me. I gotta ask, who is this Atlanta Renaissance man that I'm talking to? You're up and coming, on the rise, in the limelight, everywhere. So I just want to let the people know who you are. So who are you, and how is the best way you describe yourself to the world?
Yes, well, like you previously stated, my name is Vince Ashton, native from Atlanta, Georgia, South Side, East Point to be exact. And in all those things, I have been deemed the Renaissance man in my family because I am known to always have many irons in the fire. So in addition to being an artist and a singer, I'm a host and MC. I also have a cheesecake company. I have a photography company, and I do a slew of other things just across many other ventures and industries. But to sum everything up, I guess beyond the Renaissance man title, if you will, who is Vince Ashton? I think Vince Ashton is creativity. You know, Vince Ashton is just chasing your dreams. You know, Vince Ashton is a believer that your passion is your paycheck. So if you have many passions, you have many paychecks. Hello, somebody. So yeah, you know, I think those things encompass who Vince Ashton is. Definitely.
Incredible. Just from an outsider looking in, you and I kind of know the walk of life when you're in the entertainment industry and you're really trying to establish your brand, or you're trying to establish that you're a host or an interviewer or an on-air personality. So how did your kind of mix up into entertainment begin for you?
Wow. You know what? That is a very I guess I can say elaborate story, if you will, because there's so many segments of entertainment industry that I've sort of, dibbled and dabbled in, or that I'm really consistently in. But in terms of first and foremost being an artist, I would have to credit that back going to my teen ministry days in church. One of the mega churches here in the Atlanta-based area, our teen ministry was huge, and one of our music directors was really big into songwriting and like artist development. And so just me being like 13, 14 years old, being a part of that type of situation, that really molded me and gave me a lot of opportunities to sing in front of thousands on thousands on thousands on a weekly basis, to start writing my own records, to know how to run studio sessions. And then in that, you begin to network, right? You begin to build rapport with other producers, other artists, and then it sort of just dominoes into 20 years later. Now you've really sort of gotten a good grip into that. In terms of me being an event host and MC, I have to credit my former band director's wife. She used to coordinate this huge event. This had to be like 2011, called Battle of the Dance Lines. And they had a radio VJ that wasn't able to make it. And she just remembered my personality because I had graduated from high school by then. She was like, yo, Vince has great charisma, great personality. He leads worship already, so he's used to, orchestrating energy for thousands of people. Let's see if you'd be interested in doing, in hosting an event. So I was like, okay, let's give a whack at it. And it was at the Georgia World Congress Center. At least like 4,000, 5,000 people for that event that I hosted. It was called Battle of the Dance Lines again. And if you know anything about the South, Battle of the Bands, drum lines, dance lines, like that is what we are known for. So this is huge. And again, this is my first time doing it. I walked on that stage. I remember when the show was done, my Twitter shut down because just the comments, we want Vince back. Vince is the best host. And this event had been going on for years. And just after that 2011 situation, it just dominoed into me continuing to host today. So yeah, I think those two things assisted me in getting into the entertainment spectrum.
Incredible. Oh my gosh, what a fun story.
Thank you.
I want to ask, so you're talking about how you got used to singing in front of thousands of people from singing in church. What is one church song that stays in your head, like it lives rent free? Like, For me, I don't know if it's considered a church song, but I oftentimes find myself being like, "Oh, when the saints
Oh,
marching in," like I'm out here in my brain cleaning my house, thinking there's a marching band behind me, and
the
I'm like,
march.
"Get it, Chief, get it." So I want to know, what is a song? It doesn't have to be church related, or it could be, but what is a song that lives rent free in your head?
Oh my gosh, a song that lives rent free in my head. There's so many. There's so freaking many because I love music and I'm so immersed in it. Okay, so we'll say so as of recently, I don't know where this song just came from, but I've been stuck on Aladdin's A Whole New World. I don't know. I literally just posted myself singing it on my Instagram story. Just I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? A whole new world. Like I've just been singing that randomly all the time. So yeah, that's my song of the month.
Nice. Yeah, I would say the other song that lives rent free in my head is "I'm Blue" or "Blue" by Eiffel 65. I'm like that one, the whole music video lives in my head. And like that came out when I was a kid, so I'm like, "I'm blue," like for me, those two songs. I don't know why, but I find myself getting down to
But
that.
you know what?
Sure.
90s pop was such an impact and it resonated with so many of us. So any of those 90s records are bound to like come back in your memory at any given time. They were catchy. So catchy.
Yes. So you have your solo debut project. What was the inspiration behind it?
Yeah, so it's crazy because me doing so many things, I just had to come to terms with myself and recognize like, hey, I've been blessed to do a lot, but I really love artistry. I really love being a musician. I really love performing and singing for people. So these 3 records that I comprised into this little package called a Tringle, if you will, they already existed on SoundCloud. But I was like, you know what? Let me get the audience reacclimated to Vince Ashton, the artist. So I took them off of SoundCloud, sort of got them refurbished, if you will, remixed and remastered, and released them available on all streaming platforms. So to answer you the second part of that question, it was really just not only getting people reacclimated to myself as an artist, but also just conquering fear. I feel like I utilize SoundCloud as a safe space, like, okay, I'm good. Like the music is sort of out, but it's not really out. And I don't really know if people are going to be rocking with it. If I put it on, iTunes and Spotify and all those things. And then it just came to a point where it was like, bro, go. Just do it. Just put it out there and just celebrate the fact that you just overcome that milestone and just see what happens. And I did it, and it's been going good, and the streams are rising, the counts are rising, the views are rising by the day, and I'm very blessed and very excited about those 3 songs.
Nice. And you said it's a Tringle.
It's a Tringle. So it's 3 singles in one. So that's Coming Out Strong, which is like a hip hop, true to Atlanta type record, inspirational about being a champion. Kickback, which is a bop, okay, R&B pop hybrid mid tempo, and then Here We Go, which is fun dance, high energy EDM, pop friendly, just celebrating you entering into a new chapter of your life and just being glad about that. So yeah, those are the 3 songs.
Perfect. Hopefully Pringles doesn't steal this and make a 3-foot long Pringles can.
You know what, Alyssa, we're going to write this down. Let's archive this and document this conversation, because if they do, we're going to come for them.
Yes, absolutely. I've got it in my notes. I've got to ask, I like to think of myself as a mostly Atlanta native. I came here when I was 5, so obviously not by choice, but it's not like I was against it. So mostly Atlanta native, but I have to ask, you're an Atlanta native. How do you feel the culture of Atlanta, Metro Atlanta, Georgia has really affected your work? Because people who are not from here don't understand the magic that makes Atlanta.
Yeah, you know what? A mantra that I live by is grown here, not flown here. And I think a lot of us natives have to just continuously say that and wear that as a banner, because to your point, there is a magic that being from Atlanta has. I think the beauty behind being an artist or creative, living in Atlanta or being from Atlanta is just the vast networking system that's here. Like you are really able, if you're consistent behind it, you're really able to just rub elbows and connect with so many great people to expand your network and expand your catalog, expand your repertoire, get more creative, input in situations and opportunities, so on and so forth. And so for me, it's like it's sort of limitless. Just me living here, and it's a huge blessing behind that. And then I don't know, just Atlanta, being from the South Side of East Point, is like we grew up different. So, when we sing, when we perform, when we write, it's coming from such a real place, and not trying to knock anybody else's city or whatever, but it just comes from a place where like this is Atlanta. Like this is 2 Chainz, TLC, Monica, Outkast. Like this is true Atlanta, and that's definitely what I give just by being born here. I don't know, it's in the sun. It's just how we make.
Absolutely. I find as I get older that magic for me, I'm like, there's nothing else like it in the world. I mean, I'm from Powder Springs, so I'm like, okay. Like right. I've seen a lot of like the town grow, Marietta grow, Smyrna, but yeah, there's nothing like old Atlanta. But then there's there's still like people like they don't get it because they haven't seen it, like they don't feel it. I totally get what you're saying with that. What would you say is kind of, you're talking about networking, a good or easy way to make somebody feel comfortable with networking, or how do you approach a networking connection?
You know what? I would have to say that social media is the way that you sort of, I guess, posture yourself in that social media realm can be very beneficial. Like for me, like if I get like friend requests from people or new followers, like I already have like this. I'm telling my business. I already have like this pre-saved messages like, hey, thanks for following me. My name is Vince. This is what I do, and I would love to connect with you. So you're automatically right out the gate just throwing that, extending that opportunity, extending that invitation. So that has created some really cool relationships. And then I just think just being out and about and being willing to just get out of yourself and out of the shyness and just having conversations with people. Because I think at the end of the day, we can do more united than divided, but you have to be able to have a conversation in order to unite with people. Right? So you just got to muster up, that strength and that courage, or get some liquid courage in your system and have those conversations, just have it. And at the end of the day, if they say no, it is okay. There are many, many more people out there, many more opportunities. As I say to everybody, the sun will rise and the next day will happen. You will be okay. Create yourself another space.
Would you say it's shyness, or would you say it's more of people being, I don't want to say it's self-absorbed, but their focal point is so much different than it was even 10 years ago?
You know what? I think it's 2 truths right there. I think it is a hybrid of both. I think if you're like new, okay, I'll say this. If you're sort of new to, I guess, any industry, really, if you really want to network or whatever, there may be some apprehension that you may have just internally, like, okay, I may be shy. But then I can also just see, okay, we say self-absorbed. Is that coming from the person that they want to connect with, or the person that is looking to get a connection?
I think, in front of my brain, when I think about this, I think it's that people are so, and I say self-absorbed as if I'm holding my phone in my hand, but they're so absorbed with the digital space. I think they forget there's a world. So I just, wanted to see, are you feeling like people are just shy, or is it like that engagement outside of the phone in the digital sphere? Like, is it that, like, is it lacking on that?
Ooh, that is you talking heavy. That's a really that's a really good point. You know what? I would have to say, during the pandemic, that was one thing that I just didn't want to believe. Like, nobody is going to lose their ability to articulate and have healthy conversation. But as of lately, like that has happened. And, to your credit, just being self-absorbed in the phone, and just, people are now talking how they text. Like, you can say sup in a text. Now you're saying sup in person. hello, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely agree with that point too. Yeah, I'm in agreement.
It's crazy. Talking is my job. And I actually, when COVID happened, definitely struggled when we started to get back to some semblance of normalcy. I'm like, how do I talk to people again? Like a
Right.
conversation in person? What?
What's that?
Yeah, I definitely, I still have my moments where I'm like, oh yeah, I did used to do that back in like 2019. Like I did used to
Crazy.
go to events and red carpets and, do things. And it's like, oh yeah, like I did
Yeah,
have a life. So
yeah.
it's one of those things I love to ask people, especially when you meet people who have their life before COVID and
Mhm,
now after COVID, just how many things have changed, because an interview like this would have normally happened in person, but we've
mhm.
streamlined and made it so much easier to be able to connect and have a conversation and share it with the
Yeah,
world. So it's like, this is a bonus, but look at all the negative that we had to get out of it to get this one bonus.
very much so. Yeah, that's very
Yeah.
true. Mhm,
Yeah. I want to ask, just kind of in regards to your journey in general,
mhm.
how do you feel your journey has given you lessons and helped you grow as a person? How do you feel that's affected you in your career and both in your personal life?
Yeah, oof, this has definitely been a journey. It's been a journey full of mountains and molehills and pivots and left turns and right turns, but in life you have to recognize that life is a journey. It's not a sprint. Life is a marathon. It's not a sprint race. And you have to be willing to embrace everything that the journey will encompass, because at the end of the day, though it sounds cliche and we run this down the ringer all the time, but it will make you stronger. It will definitely make you stronger. So just some, I guess you could say, situations that have sort of pivoted me, or whatever that may look like. I mean, it can go from just me being laid off from a really good job, doing marketing stuff and doing event coordinating, and then having to pivot and just sort of found myself baking cheesecakes. And it's like, okay, this is a very random thing that I've sort of garnered, but I've become really good at it. And then now it's a business. And then now this business had afforded me the opportunity to be on the Food Network Canada TV show, baking cheesecakes, and it's like, if I didn't seize that opportunity after me being laid off, I would have never gotten to the Food Network, years later. I would have never got the opportunity to be in Lenox Mall selling my cheesecakes or whatever that case is. Even in terms of just being an artist and a host, there's so many opportunities that come and go. There's so many things that are always pending that you're being considered for, that we would love to have you a part of. And it's like you get excited about it, and you're getting ready to sign the contract, and then before the ink could even dry, it's like, we actually found somebody else, sir. This event is going to be postponed. And it's like, what do you do with that? You have to keep the ball rolling. You have to stay persistent. You have to stay consistent. And I think at the end of the day, this journey that I'm on has made me love my craft even more. And if you do not root yourself in the why, your reason, the why, the core as to why you're doing this, to assist you in the everlasting part of your journey, then I don't want to say it's pointless, but you're really doing a disservice to yourself in terms of you just finding your internal strength that you're going to need. You get what I'm saying? To just push through those things. So yeah, just redefining my passion, knowing that consistency is the key to breakthrough, knowing how to pivot and staying creative. Like in this journey, stay creative, keep your ears on the street, stay, diverse in the way you think, in the way that you watch, in the way that you move, and the things that you invest yourself in, so we can just build you up stronger, and you know how to just create more things for yourself, creating more opportunities for yourself. Those are things I had to do as well, especially during the pandemic. Wasn't nobody working. Well, I wasn't working. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, my passion is my paycheck. Let me see what I can do, to make sure that I'm able to sustain in the midst of the world shutting down. So yeah, I know that was a lot, but I think there's some nuggets. I think there's some gems in that.
Of course. I love to ask this one question because I feel like everybody can teach you, even if it's one thing out of life. And I have to ask, you are not just a Renaissance man, but you are a man of resilience. What would you say is one hot tip or a hot take you can share about your work or your journey, or just one piece of advice you can give anybody just in their moment of, hey, I don't know what's next for me.
Mm, that's good. I will have to piggyback off of what I just said. I don't know if I said the whole thing, but consistency is the key to breakthrough. Like my mom always say, the more you put into something, the more you're gonna get out of it. And you may not see a return the next day. You may not see a return a week from now or a month from now, but you have to stay consistent in it. If you believe in it, just know that the breakthrough will come. It is inevitable. It will happen. You are constantly planting those seeds and making sure you plant those seeds in good ground and that you're watering it. So when it's time to sprout, like this plant, right behind me, you have this magnificent tree off of the work and the service and the sacrifice and the passion and the blood, sweat, and tears that you know that you put into it. So yeah, consistency is the key to breakthrough. That is a mantra for me and advice.
I like that. That is really nice. I have to ask, what's next? What's the next big thing happening in
Okay.
the Vince Ashton brand? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, so it's this summer is going to be a great summer. I'm actually gearing up to release a very special version of one of the records, Kickback, that I mentioned earlier. I'm going to do an acoustic version of it. So that's going to be released fairly soon. I'm also heading back to Vancouver, Canada, where I did TED Talks back in October. They actually booked me to headline an outdoor music festival this year in July. So I'll be in
Wow.
Vancouver in July. I'm still working on music, still recording, still writing. I'm Jesus, a lot of things in terms of hosting opportunities are coming up. Just spot dates around the nation are happening. So yeah, just stay tuned. But right now, Kickback, the acoustic version is coming soon, and just look out for me when I'm performing this summer and fall and the remainder of the year. 1000%.
Awesome.
Oh, and
Oh,
last thing, I am also returning back to your TV screens pretty soon. Okay, so I just stay tuned. I will be making a return to the television era, or arena rather, and I'm really excited about it. Yeah,
is
stay
that
tuned.
something that's going to be filmed here in Atlanta, or?
It is going to be filmed here in Atlanta, and luckily, it is completely me. I will be, anchoring the entire ship and hosting the entire situation. So I'm really excited because I love artistry, I love singing, and I love hosting. So just to see this other opportunity come, and we're working on it now. Excited.
Awesome. Vince, how can people keep up with you? What's your social media, website, blog, YouTube?
Yeah.
Drop it.
Good deal. So yes, I am Vince Ashton on everything. VinceAshton. I'm primarily on Instagram. I do have a TikTok. I'll be in and out of there, but Instagram and YouTube are my two strongholds. So that's Vince Ashton on Instagram and YouTube. In terms of streaming the music is available on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music, YouTube, wherever you stream music is right there. Okay, so just type my name in the search engine, and I'm sure I'll pop up. And yeah, Vince Ashton on all social media platforms. Follow me now.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, Vince, so much for joining me. And guys, before I let you go, I have to say this. If you loved this conversation, of course, follow me on all socials at it's me _ Alyssa D. That's Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn sometimes. Only for
LinkedIn too.
networking. Only for networking.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
please give me a follow as well. Vince, thank you so much for your time. It has really been such a fun conversation with you. So I really appreciate it. And I'm definitely going to be watching out for you on my TV screen.
Good deal.